I kind of want to start singing "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead." I mean, but Zeb Wells isn't really a witch. He's just a bad writer. So I'll spare you the cringe. And thankfully, Marvel's going to spare you some cringe as well, as finally they've gotten rid of Zeb Wells after this atrocious Amazing Spider-Man run. I don't know why this went on for so long. It has just been a disaster since day one, and we'll go over just some of the finer points of this as we talk about the overall state of Marvel Comics and how they really need to just fix Spider-Man. It's pretty simple. The best way, of course, would be hiring me to write it, but they're not going to do that because, politics. I am writing wonderful books, though, and my next one's about to launch on Kickstarter. It's called The Hidden Emperor, and this is the sequel to my hit Overmind in 2022. If you really enjoyed that, we got a lot of great action adventure. This is your Star Wars replacement series. We're doing a Space Marine series that's going to spin out of this. I'm so excited for all the worlds I'm building here, because I don't just stop at one book. You know me. And so please check this out. This is going to be launching very, very soon. It's probably the best comic we've ever launched here. It is going to be right here. So notify me on launch. Click that. You don't got to buy anything today. And get us up over the 200 mark of followers. And thanks so much, guys, for supporting our books. It's been a crazy couple of months where we've sold just incredible amounts, unlike Amazing Spider-Man, which has been selling pretty badly. Which is shocking because Amazing Spider-Man really should be Marvel's flagship title. He always was in the past. Peter Parker, Mary Jane, it's what people want. And what should have been a huge wake-up call, and maybe is at this point with this firing news, is that Ultimate Spider-Man is outselling it by like 10-1 in most comic shops. And so I've talked to several comic retailers who are like, yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man is just crushing Amazing Spider-Man. And Jonathan Hickman did it with one simple trick, just had Peter and Mary Jane married with kids. Very simple, what people want. And if you want to develop the character and actually do something cool with them, that's what you'd do. Very simple. They tried to get that going. Of course, the marriage of Mary Jane and Peter Parker was something that was a part of Spider-Man lore from, in the 200s. All the way up through the infamous One More Day storyline where JMS and Joe Quesada ruined Spider-Man forever. But you can unruin it just like anything else because in that, while they ruined it, they had Mephisto go, oh, yes, I'm going to just rewrite reality, which, it has its own continuity problems in that with just magic. And, they were like, hopefully we'll find each other again. So there was always the possibility that you could just have a sequel storyline where you could have him realize that his life's been screwed up for a long time. Have him fight Mephisto, fight him off, maybe team up with the Silver Surfer to do so would be cool. And then have him get back together with Mary Jane and write things in that sort of regard. Very simple story. I just pitched how to write this and do it very properly, and everybody be happy. That's all you need to do. And then just get Spider-Man back on track to where he's Peter Parker facing off against his villains again. Now, Zeb Wells did quite the opposite during his run. If you remember the cringe death of Miss Marvel that was in here, some bad events like where there was this gang war where Spider-Man, it was just nonsense. Like there was no danger whatsoever. It was just an absolute train wreck. And then, of course, there's the bad John Romita Jr. art that at this point is just silly. So I think they've made a mistake on a bunch of levels. One, they're doing this weird goblin crap these days. Number two, of course, they've got Mary Jane dating Matt Walsh with his interdimensional kids, who the kids are gone now, but she's still with Matt Walsh for some reason. Then they made Mary Jane into a superhero. So now she's jackpot because she don't need no man. And that's a train wreck. Then you've got this whole thing with Ben Reilly becoming this weirdo, and they're gonna introduce like Peter Parker as like a goblin now, Spider Goblin. I mean, it's just terrible fan fiction on every single level, and it's all convoluted. The writing is all references to stuff like from a couple years ago, which was bad by itself. There was this whole Spider-Man Beyond thing that was a part of it. The dark web. I mean, it's just it's a pain in the ass to read this book. It really is. And so a lot of people have tuned out. A lot of people have just written Spider-Man off. And everybody's just been wondering why Zeb Wells continues to write this week after week. And it's like, is Marvel crazy? I guess they are. Well, they're not that crazy because obviously sales have dropped to a point where they're going to just ditch this, and this will be their last arc very soon. Thank God. And so we finally have this moving somewhere else. They've not announced who the new writer is, but I'm available, guys. I can fix this. And there's some simple things they just need to do. Obviously, they need to just get Peter and Mary Jane back together, end the nonsense with the Matt Walsh guy, and have them married again, and end the one more day nonsense. That'd fix things and set things on the right track very easily. I really think the other problem they have is they have Spider-Man going bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks there's a new book coming out. So you have to switch art teams every couple months because the artists have to be on this breakneck schedule. And then you have to change it out via arc. And I think that's a lot for a writer to handle too, because you're rushing out these stories and it's coming across very rushed, both on the art and write schedule. So I'd get it back to a once a month schedule. I know you want to milk Amazing Spider-Man just because it's Amazing Spider-Man to get some extra sales. It's just not worth it, guys. One a month is fine. It'll be a better book that way, and then you won't have these problems going forward. So those are two very simple things that need to be done right here. Number 3 is, of course, Mary Jane needs to stop being a superhero. Just get rid of all that nonsense. Not everybody needs to be a superhero. You don't need every female to be a strong female lead. You can have a damsel in distress. It's nice to have Peter have that in his life as a character because it's a good juxtaposition with his kind of insecurities with everything going wrong. And yeah, he could use a little just regular heroism. Not every character needs to be a Hulk or a Wolverine. It's just Marvel's really screwed the pooch with all these variant characters. It's been really tough to read any of these books over the last several years. And then, honestly, John Romita Jr. just needs to go on art. I get that he's got a legacy with Marvel and his father did great on Amazing Spider-Man. It looks like crap. It really does, all the way around. The guy is clearly just phoning this in. It's just something that doesn't need to be done. I like the Ed McGuinness art that's been done in some of these arcs, but my gosh, just stick with a consistent artist, stick with a consistent writer who actually cares about the characters, and I think that this could go a long, long way. Now, like I said, Ultimate Spider-Man's been really outselling this, but Marvel's having problems with their Ultimate Universe as well. From what I understand from retailers, the Ultimate Universe really started out with a bang. People were buying Ultimate Spider-Man in comic shops, flying off the shelves. It was selling out all the time. And now that's kind of changed. It's dropped off quite significantly. It's still Marvel's bestseller. Don't get me wrong on that. But the rest of the line has really brought it down. They did Ultimate Black Panther, which just was a kind of a boring thing that didn't that was a weird follow up. Shouldn't have really led with that. Ultimate X-Men's so weird with the Peach Momoko stuff. It doesn't even look like X-Men. It looks like some random horror manga that doesn't really fit with the Marvel Universe whatsoever. And then Ultimates itself was helmed by this kind of no-name guy and didn't move the needle. I heard Ultimates #1 has actually, even as a #1 issue, is selling worse than Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men, which is a very bad sign for the universe. Jonathan Hickman, he does this. He sets up this whole writers team on his universe. They did this with X-Men too. And he makes this kind of convoluted storyline that the other writers really aren't privy to what's going on so much, and they don't really do it right. And the rest of the line suffers, and then it all collapses under its own weight. Jonathan Hickman ends up under too much pressure, and he quits before the storyline ends, is typically what happens at Marvel. I hope that's not happening here because Ultimate Spider-Man started out as a bright spot for Marvel and looked like it showed the way on hey, end the weird diversity clones, end the weird bastardization of characters, obviously end the weird one more day crap that Spider-Man's been dealing with for years. But will they actually listen? Will they give fans what they want and create a Spider-Man that feels like Spider-Man again? That remains to be seen. So far, they just have it feels like nobody actually wants to do that over in the Spider offices. I don't understand why they don't like to please fans, but this is who works in comics these days. They kind of loathe the fans. They kind of just view you as under them, and they view it as they have to subvert expectations all the time. Which honestly, with an established brand, you don't really want to do that. That doesn't make any sense. But this is a good move. It's a step in the right direction. Ding dong, the witch is dead indeed. I am very, very happy that Zeb Wells is going to be gone. I'm unhappy that it's going to take 6 more issues to get him there. But hey, when they've been doing twice a month like this, it is what it is. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. That's my thoughts on how to fix Spider-Man. Hit the like and subscribe button, and if you like my thoughts on comics, please check out my books. This is going to be launching very, very soon. Click the notify me on launch in the description below. I've also got an online bookstore with all of my comics that are already out if you want to check those out, and a Subscribe Star where I'm producing new comic book content on a monthly basis. And thank you guys for supporting the channel so much over these last few months. We're growing phenomenally, and the best is yet to come.